dubbed in Portuguese and Spanish. So today is a happy day for Latin and for the whole DAO. Yeah. So looking to recent past, months in DeFi past like years, in my opinion. So it looks like it all started from a solid foundation, but this foundation was created together with people who work on this work stream. Yeah, so our orientation has always been, growth hacking. And here we have the best growth hackers gathered. Um, I came here to speak a little bit about Latin updates. So yeah, our team worked the last week on the V2 release, creating engagement on social media and Twitter, warming up warming the campaign, which was deployed a few hours ago. Yeah, and for the next steps, we'll continue to focus on bounties and content production. We intend high scalability for our content like we did in a couple of months ago on Web3 socials. So that's why we decided to look careful for Web2 medias, like specialized places to talk about developer stuff, hacking, blockchain, and crypto. So I had me and our Latin team have some partners in mind, and we start to incubate these ideas on this current sprint. So we will be working on bounties and Web2 incursion on this week. And I also would like to mention that Latin's Guild has interest in participating on large events in Brazil, such as Ethereum Hill. And, there are big plans being built between leaders and members. So we are already discussing it. So everybody stay tuned on Latin updates.
Awesome. Yeah, we talked to the Ethereum coordinator for partnerships yesterday. We need to update the Latam team on that. Toasty, Willie, and I had a call. It was a great call. That event looks really cool, and it would be awesome to have some sort of like brand presence down there. I don't think the sponsorship tier looks too outrageous at this point. So we're likely going to put like together a draft proposal into forum. An idea or a proposal on our event funding for E3O this year, coming up in a couple months. The Smith, do you want to share some of those Notion KPI documents? Are you available at a desktop to
Yeah,
do that?
yeah, sure. I will try to use another computer with a different mic. So if you guys can't hear me, just let me know, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
give me a moment just to prepare my environment. It's really fast. I will be careful.
so we're gonna present some of the Notion documentation that LATAM's put together, some of their KPIs, their roadmap, some of the stuff they're doing, some of the stuff they want to do, some of their wins, some of the points of like friction and things that they want to do. Yeah, so let it rip.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. That, was that bad mic that I had some troubles on.
Sounds better than it
Okay.
did back then.
If you guys can see it, uh, close tab here and close everything.
Oh, okay, that's how I watch.
Okay, we're ready to go. So, as you guys can see, here is our entire.
Sorry,
We
Fab, it's not loading for me. I don't know if is it loading for?
uh,
Oh, we
yeah.
Oh,
got
it's
it.
loading now.
Let me know if you guys can see my screen. Check
Oh,
it.
we can see it now, bro.
I can see right now.
Okay. So, yeah, we've been building this environment, to onboard our team. So we divided our environment in main notion, two sub notions. Which one? one for Portuguese and another one for Spanish. But we're gonna focus on this page that you guys are seeing. So there's a lot of contents here that we are working on. So basically, all contents here are linked to something in our roadmap. Okay, so everybody can track our progress in this Notion page. So we have not started tasks in progress and complete, and an archive as well. As I said, we started our bounty programs. So we recently added section called Bounty Radar. So we are in touch with some bounty hunters, and we accomplished some bounties until this day, like the dubbing. The dubbing stuff was a bounty. So we set a bounty and it in less than 24 hours. It worked. Um, Another cool feature in our environment is our sprint timeline, telling our evolution to everybody that is curious about what Latin is doing. So I used to name every sprint, with something ludical or closer to our culture here. And if you click in each card, you're gonna see what we did or what we are doing. Like I used to register our informations here as well the team, so it's pretty easy to track. We are sprint call it Nova. So this is what we are working on this sprint. Exactly what I said: the bounty hunter, the V2 launch, and some Twitter ads experiments. Okay. We defined our roles and job description, so you can meet all Latin team here. If you click, and I will explain better, clicking here, you can see that each Latin collaborator has a specific role. Like Guillermo is curator, so curators has their job description. Okay, okay, you can see our roles in a short vision here. Some resources that Vlad worked on, they are very nice. You can check some things that we are working on and researching. So like this chart, you can see our pairs and our exchange that listed on. So there's a lot of informations here. And finally, no, not finally, there's things below. Our content calendar. So we keep feeding this content calendar with our published articles across Web3 and now Web2. And yes, definitely to fulfill this day. So yeah, we need to work.
Yeah, this looks good.
Yeah.
The event calendar, we're kind of like diving into that. Let's sort of
Yeah,
like in the work.
regarding this event calendar, we left in private this Ethereum hill just for the and coordinators because there's sensitive information about contacts here, so isn't open for the entire community. Okay, just what this square.
For
Um,
sure. And I have some updates there for you. And LATAM's been doing an amazing job, the Smith. I really appreciate all the hard work you guys are putting in,
Yeah,
especially.
I know there's a bunch of information here that I highly recommend that the entire community take a time to explore our environment, because you have a lot of KPIs plus everything that I talked here. So yeah, I may take a long time to explain everything, but here's the invitation. Okay? So you guys can see our community artists like this one. this catering that I found awesome, dude. And yeah, we are receiving this voluntarily, so we are registering here in our archive. So that's our basically our work environment in the DAO.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I would love for other like work stream leaders to like come and look at what you guys have done with Notion because it looks amazing in my opinion. And I really appreciate everything you're doing. Like I said, there's some really awesome stuff coming up with LATAM. I think we're growing at a we're growing well. The rate of growth is looking pretty awesome, especially for just getting going and the team being so small. Um, I really appreciate you, Vlad, for coming on board so willingly and jumping into everything with the Smith. You're doing an awesome job, like leading the team with him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Really,
the entire team, the entire Latin team is working hard, so they deserve all, my respect and consideration. So props for our Latin team, including, we have several names to list here, but they know that, I'm talking right to them. And yes, congratulations, Latin team and everybody.
thank you guys. Jess, I guess if you guys want to take it now, go ahead and do that.
Yeah, cool. Thank you for that. I'm going to share my screen as well just to show what we've been working. So happy Thursday, everyone. The education project is a new project in a new work stream. So we've been spending quite a bit of time doing some of the setup. And what we are specifically working on right now is improving the onboarding needs for new and continuing contributors. You can read more about what our goals are if you're not sure in the SPC 52 proposal. So I'm not going to go into them now. They're also on our Notion page listed out as well. So, all right, what have we done? We are in week 3 of the project, and a lot of what we've been doing has been set up. And what I mean by that is the foundational pieces, like putting Notion, everything into Notion. You can see here on the this screenshot, just that we've been adding everything to it. We've done a team agreement, figured out how we're going to take notes and whatnot. And I think it's important to just recognize that this wasn't set up ahead of time. Like I said, it's a new project and a new work stream. So we found it really important for us to create the organizational pieces to make sure that we're well positioned to meet all of the goals that we set out and promised the DAO that we would be reaching during this project. One of the first things that we did was create a process workflow. So what that means is we wanted to set up exactly what it looks like when someone begins contributing or participating in the DAO. And so this isn't for people that are just joining as consumers or to use the wallets. This is for people who are interested in contributing to the DAO and aren't sure where to begin. So once we created that workflow, we moved into creating this document that explains what the workflow looks like and what each piece of the workflow does, like we described it, and what the challenges are, and just really set ourselves up to make sure that we're being thoughtful and intentional in everything that we are creating. So the next thing that we did was create a resource.
Excuse me. I would like to ask Mr. Bear to mute his microphone because it's echoing here. Thank you. Excuse me and sorry.
Okay, so no problem. So then we came up with the resource guide. And this is something that I'm really excited that the whole DAO has been a part of. So it wasn't just our team. Everyone kind of jumped in, shared what they've been working on, and what tools have been used. And we needed to have this created in order for us to figure out what it is that people need our team to create educational materials for to help the DAO function as well as possible. So we got that going. Thank you to everyone who jumped in and added to this, because most of the people on our team are new, and so we wouldn't be able to do it without everyone putting in what is actually being used. So now that we've done that, we are at the next point in which we've identified some of the urgent needs for educational materials, and we have begun to create them. So the first three things that we're working on are it's Coordinate. So we're working on the materials needed to teach people how to use Coordinate. That is one of the projects this week. The next step is we've been working on payment exchange info for avoiding mainnet fees so that we can bridge money across chains. And so this is something that I'm really excited to say has been more than just the education team. So I think that Arena's been involved, the Smith, I'm sure other people as well, but it's been pretty cool to see how people recognize the need and are jumping in to help make this happen. And I think that that's going to make us really successful as a DAO as we continue to move forward with these projects. Another need we identified was Discord and needing to kind of tighten up some of the channels and the content that's in them, not the work stream channels. I'm talking specifically about things like learning and where people go when they join, once they are welcomed in, what does that look like? Where do they go? So we're just making sure that it's accessible, easy, and hopefully something that people can enjoy using. Where are we going? Well, we have a million things that we want to do and need to do, and we are in the process of creating this document to-do list, which by the end of this week, I believe, we will have this all built out and be able to look at it in calendar form so that we can see exactly what the trajectory is and where we will be at each point in the journey. So if you're saying on your team, like, oh, we put down that there is a need for, information on lobby. When are you guys going to have more on that? Or I want to be a part of it. What do I do? You'll be able to go to our to-do list to see who is working on it and where we're at and when we expect to have it done. And if that's something that you're curious about, you can either look there or obviously you can always just connect with any of us. So that is my spiel for updates. You guys can message any of us with questions on the Education Public chat. Anything else you want me to talk about?
No, I think that was perfect. Thanks for that overview and putting together like the slide deck and everything. That was super helpful. I appreciate you coming up here and sharing your screen.
Yeah, no problem. It was a team effort. Okay.
Yeah, I've enjoyed participating in that project too. It's been fun. So definitely invite anybody that wants to come to any of those meetings that are public to definitely join and listen in or try to contribute if you feel like you want to or you can.
Cool. Hunt, what do you think is best? I think maybe if we run, that list that you put together of like all the stuff we've been working on for the past like 3 weeks, do you want to just kind of like run through each of the names together and we can have like a 1 or 2 sentence like comment about each, and if we need to like shout out or ask for help at any point, and then when we go to talk about like what Lorax is doing, we can kind of open up for like what kind of bounty stuff we're looking at for potential partnerships, AMAs, and that kind of thing.
I'll just end it with like the onboarding efforts that we've kind of been doing the last like couple of weeks. Yeah, so I kind of touched on a couple of these things as we've gone through LATAM and education. However, things have evolved a little bit in the last like day or so with Ethereum. So I need to come up with like some sort of numbers and talk to Toasty a little bit more about it and talk to the Smith, talk to LATAM contributors about Ethereum and see if there's interest in going for that event and sponsoring it and this, that, and the third. And so I guess that really leads us to rest of like globalization. It's kind of like a subject that we didn't touch. We didn't touch like LPX's infrastructure platform that he's kind of like integrating into the education project and the translations that Globalization is doing. Globalization helped with Spanish translations yesterday for the V2 launch, and they've been doing a whole bunch of stuff behind the scenes It'd be really awesome to probably like present more of that data and do like a demo with LPX at the next call. Hopefully I can get them on here to do that with
Yeah,
us.
I would like to say something. Globalization also is working on several bounties, several translation bounties for Portuguese and Spanish. So they have around 50 articles ready to be bounded.
I think 50 articles are what they're at right now. I know we have Firebomb and JP working on some translations, and I know LPX has some bounty workers that may do some translations as well. I tried to tap LPX into engineering to see if he can start helping them more with translations that he's doing. So they can kind of align better. And if engineering needs anything from globalization, it's there. And I guess to dig out of the globalization and all the other projects that we have going on within growth, Toasty and I have kind of been talking to a few different people. Some have been ongoing conversations that have kind of carried over into the new work stream. For example, we have like GU Steaks, we have Made a Factory, and a couple other partnerships that are ongoing that we haven't really talked too much about. Toasty talked to Circle the other day. And there's some other exciting things happening in terms of partnership negotiations and networking and stuff like that. Um, is there anything in that regard that you want to touch on, Toast, or do you want to hit that last?
Yeah, no, I think the big thing that, I've been focusing on quite a bit now is driving over to like partnerships and just having some of these calls. I know we're in talks right now with like an upcoming NFT partnership, as well as us doing like some kind of way we can bring funds back into the DAO and generate revenue for the DAO. One of the big exciting ones though is like getting a lot of these like AMAs scheduled. So we actually just kind of kicked this off. Hunt and I were talking the other day about trying to maybe do a Discord slash Twitter Spaces series, where we can bring in some guests that we've had like in the past. Like at Centralized Shapeshift, we had the benefit of being kind of an OG in this space, so we were able to get a lot of like really great figureheads that would actually come into the office and just kind of give us a fireside chat. Like we could pick their brain a little bit. We even before we shut the office down due to COVID, and then before we decentralized, we even had like Vitalik stop by the office and everything. So it's a pretty cool experience. I want to kind of try to bring that to the DAO a little bit. There's a lot of prevalent names and a lot of people in the space that I'm sure we have like personal contacts with that we can like reach out to and host a lot of these AMAs. And then there's also one of the partnerships I'm working on right now is working on an AMA with Opolis. Since we're bringing so many people into the DAO, so many new users, especially like on our work stream alone, I think it'd be beneficial to like, just help a lot of these new users that are starting to work for the DAO, like find out about different payment options and how they can get paid in crypto and how the crypto can essentially, pay their bills, like how they can receive a W-2. And, Opolis, I personally use them. So it's not just a shill from my side, but I know we had a lot of calls with them as we were leading into the decentralization of ShapeShift. So that may kick off a little bit into what Hunt wants to close out with of, talking about bounty budget and, connecting us with different platforms. Like a lot of people in the DAO work for different DAOs or different crypto projects. Feel free to like ping us and kind of shill your project away and like how we can coordinate. We're really looking for some like, like marketing. Not looking too much right now into like some of the paid things, not looking into like paid AMAs where we need to necessarily like pay to be on your platform, but where we can just kind of cross market and it's, a like kind partnership and, just bringing those new people into the space. That's kind of my like little, spiel about some of the partnership deals we've been working on. Anything to add to that, Hunt?
Yeah, to top that off too, like partnership documentation was kind of like one of the things we were looking at doing, like putting together, getting some sort of documents together for
Cool.
partnership.
At this point, how do you guys feel about maybe opening it up for some questions and diving a little bit deeper into maybe anything you want to ask us?
Oh, beyond that too. So we had those interviews too. Trying to catch up on like backlogged interviews, I guess. Which kind of like led over to Lorax Dude and some of the partnership stuff that you were talking about. Um, So I don't know if you want to jump into like that that route, Toasty, before we close off or do whatever.
Sure. Yeah. Sorry. I think my internet actually cut out there for a minute. I'm not sure what happened. Did you hear me about like the opening it up for, open discussion and stuff as well?
Yeah, I think, yeah, I heard you.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it would be good to like maybe project to everybody that we've kind of been like trying to act as intermediaries right now while the education team deals with like this onboarding thing. Like I think we held 3 interviews in the last like week and a half, just like screening people or sending them over to one person over to operations, one person over to marketing. And then we have like a screening call with somebody, I think next week, I believe that came from Twitter. So there is like a focus, a little bit on us trying to like patch this lack of infrastructure that the education team's trying to build out or define with this onboarding analysis. So while they do that, Tosi and I have basically been trying to fill in the gaps. Lorax looks like he's going to start trying to do basically what Monstrosity's been doing, and looking for partnership opportunities that match our ethos and vision, and everything that we want to do. So I don't know if you want to touch on that, Toasty, or you just want to open it up to questions, or.
Yeah, I think that's a good like summary of what we're looking at and some of the partnerships we're leaning on. So yeah, if you know people, if anybody here knows people that are interested in working for a DAO or just want to, find out what this is about, send them our way. Like Hunt said, like we've been jumping on calls with people just questioning if they want to even work for a DAO and stuff based off of Twitter, and just having these kind of like pre-screening interviews, and they've been coming to us and we've been filtering them out to like exactly which work stream they might be a good fit for. We get a lot of people coming in the door that are like, I'm not a marketer, I'm not, an engineer, but I want to find a way to help out. So we usually like pick their brain a little bit, and then we can kind of like funnel them into the proper work stream where they could be a good fit. Yeah, we took I think he's in here. We took the Willie ethos of like, we're just trying to bring anyone and everyone that wants to participate in here and like bring as much good talent and as much talent in as possible instead of, driving people away. So we're just trying to be warm, welcoming. And if you have anybody that's just curious, just feel free to ping Hunter, myself, and, we'll hop on a call with them ourselves.
That's sweet. I was game for that. Yeah, and Val, I see you here. You were one of the people, I guess, one of the initial people that we tried to screen. Things seem to be going in the right direction. I think you're completing bounties and doing like stuff for the education team and doing stuff for LPX too. So it's really cool to see that still working out. Sort of the same process that like Gray Machine and like everybody else followed, to start contributing. So it's great. Like Toasty said, though, if anybody has any questions, if there's anything you want to go over, anything that you want to see growth do, definitely let it be known now. Anything else you want to add to us?
No, if there's no questions or anything and nobody's unmuted themselves, I think we can, close out. I took a nice screen grab at like, I think we hit a peak of 42 people. So everybody's going to get like a number assigned to them. I will random number generator and I will ping you in general, and then we can DM and figure out the best way to get one of these gold keep keys over to in your hands.
Oh yeah, and before we all chat, I want to try to get LPX on a demo next call, so look out for that. Hopefully me and the Smith can get him over here and do a demo for everybody and show everybody what he's doing for the education team as well, because it seems to be that he's adding scope to his project, which is kind of cool to see.
Yeah, and we're holding this every other week. So we're kind of taking note from like product and stuff. And I believe this is the same time slot as, the product office hours occurs next week at the same time. And we're going to, kind of balance it back and forth with them. We found this was a good spot, had a lot of good attendance. So, the gold keep key was just to kick this off, but Hunt and I like, giving stuff away and like encouraging people to come and listen because we think people can learn a lot. So, keep your eyes peeled for the next one. Could be something as cool as a T-shirt, NFTs, all that kind of fun stuff.
I think we're gonna give like a POAP to people too. I guess I'll take a screenshot now of like, so I think there's 45 people. I think we have a POAP made as well for this call. So I'll see if I can distribute that in the next like day or so. So bear with me.
Cool. Well, thanks everybody for attending. And if anything else pops up, just, Hunter, myself, or really anybody that kind of spoke today on the education side or the LATAM side, we're always open and wanting to converse and bring more people into the space.
Yeah, that's great. Also, I would like to say that Latin is running its weekly sprint every Monday at 4 p.m. Miami time. So everyone is invited. We used to run the sprint on public rooms in our Discord. Thank you.
Jeff, if you're still here, what's the current schedule on the education team meetings? David, if you're here.
We postponed today because there was a conflict, and part of what we're doing this afternoon is rescheduling. So we'll post that as soon as we have it.
Some people are invited to both those, really any of our calls that are public. We welcome everybody.
And just so everyone knows, the next meeting for education will always be pinned to the top of the education category in Discord. So if you're wondering, you can always pop up to what's pinned and figure out when we're meeting and join us. We would love to have you.
I believe our next meeting is tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And I'm also doing some work on the calendar, so that should soon be easier for people to keep track of.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
See you.